My granddaughter Brittany showed up at my house on a Thursday afternoon, all smiles and energy. She texted an hour before, "Grandma, can I come over? Need to ask you something." I'd said yes, of course. She was my granddaughter, my son Mark's daughter, 19 years old, supposedly figuring out her life after dropping out of college after one semester. The official story was she was taking time to find her passion. The reality, from what I'd observed, was she was trying to become a TikTok influencer, posting videos about fashion, lifestyle, vintage aesthetics. "Grandma," she squealed, hugging me when I opened the door. Too enthusiastic, too performative. I'd raised 3 children. I knew when someone was buttering me up. "Hi, sweetie," I said, hugging her back. "Come in. I made tea." We sat in my living room, the same living room where I'd lived for 40 years with my late husband, Robert. The same room filled with memories and photographs and heirlooms from a life well lived. "So," Brittany said, sipping tea, "I have a huge favor to ask, and I know it's big, but hear me out, okay?" "I'm listening." "So you know how I'm building my TikTok brand, right? Fashion and vintage aesthetics and all that? Well, vintage jewelry is huge right now, like massive. And I was thinking," she smiled her most charming smile, "your jewelry collection is absolutely gorgeous. Real vintage, real heirlooms. And I was wondering if I could borrow some pieces. Just for a video. I'd take such good care of them. Film the video, then give everything back. It would look amazing on camera. And it would really help my channel grow." I looked at my granddaughter, this girl I'd loved since she was born, this girl I'd watched grow from sweet child to this entitled young woman who thought the world owed her success without work. "My jewelry," I said carefully. "You want to borrow my jewelry for TikTok?" "Yes, just for a video. Maybe a few videos if they do well, but I promise I'll be so careful. And it's for my career, you know, building my brand. It's really important." My jewelry collection. Let me tell you about my jewelry. Most of it was from Robert, my husband of 45 years who died 3 years ago. He'd been a jeweler, had owned a successful jewelry store, had given me pieces over the decades, some he'd made himself, some he'd acquired specifically for me. There was my engagement ring, 2-carat diamond, platinum setting, worth approximately $15,000. My anniversary necklace, sapphires and diamonds, $25,000. The emerald bracelet he'd given me for our 30th anniversary, $18,000. The pearl set earrings and necklace from our 40th, $12,000. Then there were the heirlooms, my mother's wedding ring, my grandmother's brooch, a Victorian-era locket that had been in the family for 4 generations, pieces with history, with meaning, with value that went beyond money. Total value of my jewelry collection, approximately $200,000, maybe more, and my 19-year-old granddaughter wanted to borrow it for TikTok. "That's very important jewelry, Brittany," I said. "Heirlooms, pieces from your grandfather, pieces with family history." "I know, that's what makes them perfect. Real vintage, real history. People love that authenticity. It would be so good for my content." "And you'd return everything after filming?" "Of course. Grandma, you can trust me." Could I? Could I trust her? Let me tell you what I'd noticed about Brittany over the past 2 years. Money kept disappearing from my purse when she visited. Small amounts, $20, $40. Enough to notice, but small enough to doubt myself. Did I spend that? Did I forget? Small items had gone missing. A silver picture frame, a decorative bowl, a set of vintage napkin rings. All when Brittany had visited, all borrowed and never returned. 6 months ago, I'd lent her my credit card for textbooks. The charge had been $800. When I'd asked for receipts, she'd said she lost them. Later, I discovered she'd dropped out of school. The $800 had funded what? New clothes for TikTok? Equipment? Lifestyle? And 3 days ago, 3 days before this visit, I'd been at Brittany's apartment dropping off a birthday gift for her roommate. Brittany's laptop had been open on the table, browser visible. She'd been researching jewelry buyers. Best place to sell estate jewelry. How to value vintage jewelry. Jewelry buyers near me. She'd closed the laptop quickly when she'd noticed me looking. Just browsing. You know how algorithms show you random stuff? But I'd seen it. Had known. My granddaughter wasn't planning to film TikTok videos. She was planning to sell my jewelry, to take family heirlooms worth $200,000 and convert them to cash. For what? Rent? Lifestyle? Funding her influencer career that was going nowhere? And now here she was, asking to borrow the jewelry with a smile and a promise to take such good care of it. Let me think about it, I said. That's very valuable jewelry, sweetie. I need to consider. Brittany's smile faltered, just for a second, then recovered. Of course. Totally understand. It's a big ask. But Grandma, it would mean so much to me. For my career, you've always been so supportive. Supportive, yes. I'd been supportive. Had paid for her private high school when Mark and Susan had struggled financially, had given her $5,000 for her first semester of college, had bought her a used car when she'd turned 18, and she'd repaid me by stealing, by planning to steal more, by seeing me as a resource to exploit rather than a grandmother to love. I'll let you know, I said. Give me a few days to think. She left disappointed but still hopeful. The moment her car pulled away, I called my friend Detective Sarah Martinez. We'd known each other for 15 years. She'd handled the investigation when someone had broken into my house years ago. We'd stayed friends. Sarah, I need help. And it might sound paranoid, but I think my granddaughter is planning to steal from me. I explained everything. The missing money, the borrowed items never returned, the jewelry research on her laptop, this new request. What do you want to do? Sarah asked. I want to give her a chance to do the right thing, but I also want to protect myself. And honestly, I want to catch her if she's really planning to steal. I want proof. Want her to face consequences. Want her to understand that stealing from family, stealing from anyone, isn't okay just because you want money for TikTok videos. What's your plan? Can I bring my real jewelry to the station, store it as evidence, and then I'll give Brittany fakes, costume jewelry that looks real. If she's actually planning to just film videos, she'll film and return them. But if she tries to sell them, I paused, then we'll know, and we'll have proof. Sarah was quiet. Then, that's actually clever. And yes, you can store valuables with us for safekeeping, technically as evidence in potential theft case. But Eleanor, if she tries to sell fake jewelry, she hasn't technically stolen anything. The pieces are worthless. But it proves intent, I said. Proves she was planning to steal. And Sarah, I have a feeling the jewelry isn't the only thing she's taken. I want to check my accounts, my checkbook, see if anything else is missing. If she's stolen in other ways, maybe we can catch that too. Smart, Sarah said. Document everything. And if you find actual theft, not just attempted, call me immediately. That evening, I carefully packed my real jewelry, every piece, put them in a secure case, wrote detailed descriptions and took photographs, documented everything. Then I went to a costume jewelry store, bought pieces that looked expensive, realistic fakes, spent $200 on things that resembled my real jewelry. Not identical, but close enough. Put them in my real jewelry boxes, made it look natural. The trap was set. I texted Brittany. Hi, sweetie. I've thought about your request. You can borrow some jewelry for your videos. Come by Saturday and we'll pick out pieces together. Love you. Her response was immediate. OMG, thank you, Grandma. You're the best. See you Saturday. Emojis, enthusiasm, gratitude, all fake, just like the jewelry I was about to give her. The plan unfolds. Saturday morning, Brittany arrived with her phone already recording. Grandma, I'm doing a getting ready video. This is going to be so good. She filmed me opening the jewelry box, filmed herself gasping at the pieces. Oh my God, Grandma, these are stunning. Are these real diamonds? Family heirlooms, I said. Technically true. They were in the boxes that had held family heirlooms. Your grandfather gave me most of these. They're perfect, Brittany breathed, already picking pieces. The fake sapphire necklace, the costume pearl set, the rhinestone bracelet I'd bought for $35. Can I take these 3? And maybe this ring? The ring, cubic zirconia I'd paid $40 for, looked almost identical to my real engagement ring. Of course, sweetie, take good care of them. I will. I promise. Thank you so much. This is going to be amazing content. She hugged me, posted on Instagram immediately. Borrowing Grandma's vintage jewelry collection for some gorgeous content. She's the best. Vintage jewelry, jerk family, heirlooms, blessed comments flooded in. OMG, those are stunning. Your grandma has taste. Are those real? Can I borrow your Grandma Lowell? Brittany left with the jewelry, with my heirlooms, with her future content. I called Sarah. She took the fakes. She's already posting about them. Now we wait, Sarah said. See what she does. That evening, Brittany posted a TikTok, professional lighting, her wearing the costume jewelry, posing, explaining the history she'd invented for each piece. This sapphire necklace was my great-grandmother's. Isn't it gorgeous? Real vintage, real heirloom. This is what authenticity looks like, guys. The video got 50,000 views in 3 hours. Comments praising the jewelry, praising her, asking where she got such amazing pieces. Sunday, another TikTok, the pearl set. Grandma's Collection Part 2. These pearls are over 50 years old. Can you believe it? More views, more comments, more engagement. Monday morning, Sarah called me. Eleanor, Brittany just visited a jewelry buyer on 5th Street. I have someone watching. She brought the jewelry. Already? I said. She's had them 2 days. Apparently, she needed cash fast. Our observer says she's trying to sell them now. My stomach twisted. Not surprised I'd expected this, but confirmation still hurt. My granddaughter was trying to sell what she thought were my heirlooms while I was alive, while I trusted her, while she smiled at me and called me the best grandma. What's happening? I asked Sarah. Jewelry buyer is examining them. He's shaking his head. Brittany looks confused. He's saying something. She's getting upset. He's showing her something under a magnifying glass. She's Eleanor. She's leaving. She looks panicked. The buyer told her they're fake, I said. Probably. She just rushed out. Looks distressed. I waited. Wondered if Brittany would call me. Would confess. Would admit what she'd tried to do. She didn't call. Instead, she posted on TikTok. Having a weird day, LOL. Sometimes you think something is valuable and it's not. Life lessons. Anyway, here's a makeup tutorial. Acting like nothing happened. Acting like she hadn't just tried to steal $200,000 in jewelry from her own grandmother. Tuesday, I checked my bank account. Routine check I did weekly. Found something that made my blood run cold. 5 checks written from my account in the past 2 weeks. Total, $15,000, $3,000 to Brittany Hammond, $4,000 to Luxury Apartments LLC, Brittany's building, $2,500 to B. Hammond, $3,500 to Cash, $2,000 to Brittany H. I hadn't written any of those checks. My checkbook. Where was my checkbook? I searched my purse, my desk, my bedroom, gone, missing. I called my bank. I need to report fraudulent checks. Of course, Mrs. Walker. When did you notice? Just now. 5 checks totaling $15,000. I didn't write any of them. I'll flag them immediately. We'll need you to come in and file a formal report. These checks were cashed over the past 2 weeks. The signatures, let me check. They look like your signature, Mrs. Walker. Because they were forged, I said, voice shaking. My granddaughter stole my checkbook and forged my signature. The bank representative was silent. Then, I'm so sorry, Mrs. Walker. That's fraud, criminal fraud. You'll need to file a police report. I called Sarah immediately. Eleanor, slow down. What happened? I explained. The checks, the missing checkbook, the forged signatures. That's felony bank fraud, Sarah said, along with the attempted jewelry theft. Even though the jewelry was fake, the intent to steal was real. We have a case, a strong case. Eleanor, do you want to press charges? Did I? This was my granddaughter, my son's daughter, family. But she'd stolen from me, repeatedly. Had tried to steal my most precious possessions, had forged my signature, had committed fraud. Yes, I said, I want to press charges. She needs to face consequences, real consequences. Not just me being disappointed, not just her parents making excuses, real legal consequences. Okay, Sarah said. Come down to the station, bring bank statements, we'll file officially. And Eleanor, this is going to get messy. Your family will be upset. Are you ready for that? I don't know, I said honestly, but I'm tired of enabling, tired of protecting people from their own actions. Brittany committed crimes. She needs to face consequences. I went to the police station, filed formal complaints, bank fraud, attempted theft, forgery. Sarah assigned a detective to the case. We'll need to interview Brittany, probably arrest her. You understand that? Yes. And your family needs to be notified. Should we call them, or will you? I thought about my son Mark, about his wife Susan, about how they'd react. I'll tell them, I said. Tonight, family dinner. I'll tell everyone at once. Wednesday evening, I hosted dinner. Mark, Susan, Brittany, and my younger grandson Jake, Brittany's 15-year-old brother. Everyone came expecting normal family dinner, pot roast, small talk, ordinary evening. They had no idea their world was about to explode. The confrontation, we sat around my dining table, the same table where we'd had countless family dinners over the years, holidays, birthdays, Sunday dinners. This table had seen laughter and love and family. Tonight it would see truth. Thank you all for coming, I said, once everyone had been served. I have something important to discuss. Mark smiled. Sounds serious, Mom. Everything okay? No, I said. Everything is not okay. I looked directly at Brittany. She was scrolling on her phone, barely paying attention. Typical. Brittany, I said, did you enjoy trying to sell my jewelry? Her head snapped up, eyes wide. What? My jewelry. The pieces I let you borrow for TikTok. You took them to a jewelry buyer on Monday, tried to sell them, didn't you? The table went silent, Mark and Susan staring at Brittany. Jake looked confused. I don't... Grandma, what are you talking about? Brittany stammered. I borrowed jewelry for videos, for content. I didn't try to sell anything. Yes, you did, I said calmly. You took them to a buyer on 5th Street, Monday morning, 10:47 a.m. You tried to sell what you thought were my heirlooms. Fortunately, They were fakes. Costume jewelry I'd bought specifically because I knew you were planning to steal from me. What? Mark said. Mom, that's insane. Brittany wouldn't. She would, I interrupted. And she did. I have documentation. I had someone following her. I knew what she was planning because I saw her researching jewelry buyers before she even asked to borrow the pieces. This was a setup from the beginning. She was never planning to film videos. She was planning to steal. Brittany was crying now. That's not true. I did film videos. They're on my TikTok. I was curious about the value, that's all. I wasn't going to actually sell them. Then why did you try? I asked. Why did you take them to a buyer? Why did you ask him to evaluate them for sale? It was research for content about how to value vintage jewelry. Interesting research, I said, especially since you'd been researching buyers before you asked to borrow the jewelry. Almost like you planned this. Susan jumped in. Eleanor, I think you're misunderstanding. Brittany is building a brand. She needs to understand the industry. That includes knowing values. Susan, I said firmly, stop. Just stop defending her, because the jewelry isn't even the worst part. I pulled out bank statements, laid them on the table. These are checks written from my account over the past 2 weeks. 5 checks, $15,000 total, all made out to Brittany, all with my signature. I looked at Brittany. Except I didn't write them. You stole my checkbook, and you forged my signature. That's bank fraud, Brittany. That's a felony. The room exploded. Mark, Mom, that can't be. Susan, there must be some mistake. Brittany, I didn't. Yes, you did, I said loudly. Everyone stopped. You stole my checkbook 3 weeks ago. You've been forging my signature. The bank has confirmed the signatures are forgeries. The checks were cashed. $15,000 of my money stolen by my granddaughter. Brittany was shaking. Grandma, please, I can explain. Explain what? I asked. Explain how you stole from me, how you committed fraud, how you tried to steal $200,000 in jewelry, and when that failed, you forged checks instead. You don't understand, Brittany burst out. I needed the money. My rent was due. I had credit card bills. I didn't know what else to do. Get a job, I said, like normal people, like people who don't have grandmothers to steal from. But you have so much money, Brittany yelled. You don't even need it. You're just sitting on all this wealth while I'm struggling. It's not fair. So, theft is okay if the victim is wealthy? I asked. That's your defense? Mark tried to mediate. Mom, obviously Brittany made a serious mistake, but she's young. She's stressed about money. Let's figure out how to handle this as a family. We'll pay you back. No, I said flatly. You're not paying me back. This isn't a loan. This is theft. This is fraud. These are crimes. They're mistakes, Susan insisted. She made mistakes. She's 19. Young people make mistakes. I didn't make mistakes like this when I was 19, I said. I didn't steal. I didn't forge signatures. I didn't commit felonies. And you know why? Because I was raised to understand that stealing is wrong, regardless of whether the victim has enough money or not. So what are you saying? Mark asked, voice tight. You're going to punish your own granddaughter for money? For checks that we can pay back? For jewelry that turned out to be fake anyway? I'm not punishing her for money, I said. I'm holding her accountable for crimes. And yes, I've already filed charges. Police report, bank fraud, attempted theft, forgery. She'll be arrested. The table erupted again. Susan, you what? Mark, Mom, you can't be serious. Brittany, Grandma, no, please. The only quiet person was Jake, my younger grandson. He was staring at Brittany with an expression I couldn't quite read. You reported her to police? Mark was standing now. She's your granddaughter. You're going to destroy her life over money? She destroyed her own life by committing crimes, I said. I'm just refusing to cover them up, refusing to enable, refusing to teach her that stealing from family is okay as long as Grandma doesn't press charges. This is vindictive, Susan said. This is cruel. She made a mistake, and you're treating her like a criminal. She is a criminal, I said. By definition, she committed crimes, multiple crimes. Jake spoke up for the first time, voice quiet. She stole from me too. Everyone turned to him. What? Mark said. Brittany, Jake said, looking at his sister. You stole $500 from my birthday money last month, from the envelope Grandma gave me. I know it was you. You're the only one who was in my room. Brittany's face went red. Jake, that's not. Don't lie, Jake said, still quiet but firm. I know it was you. You took it, and you never gave it back. And when I asked you about it, you said I must have lost it, but I didn't lose it. You stole it. Susan looked at Brittany. Did you steal from your brother? Brittany was crying harder now. It was just, it was an emergency. An emergency, Jake said. Yeah, emergency new clothes for TikTok. I saw the haul video you posted the next day. $500 worth of thrift store finds that were actually paid for with my birthday money. Mark sat down heavily, looking at his daughter like he didn't recognize her. How long has this been going on? He asked. The stealing, the lying. How long, Brittany? It's not like that. How long? Mark shouted. Brittany flinched, started talking through sobs. I don't know. A year? Maybe 2? I needed money and you guys never had enough and Grandma always had so much and it seemed easier to just take it. Small amounts, things she wouldn't miss. And it worked, so I kept doing it. And then I needed more and the jewelry seemed perfect and I thought she'd never know and she stopped, realized what she'd admitted. 2 years. 2 years of systematic theft from her own grandmother. I think we're done here, I said quietly. Brittany, the police will be contacting you, probably tomorrow. I suggest you get a lawyer. Mom, please, Mark begged. Don't do this. She's our daughter, your granddaughter. Can't we handle this privately? Family matter? We could have, I said. 2 years ago when it started. If you'd taught her there were consequences, if you'd held her accountable, if you'd parented her instead of enabling her, but you didn't. So now she faces real consequences, legal consequences, criminal consequences. I stood up. Dinner is over. Everyone needs to leave. Susan stood too. Eleanor, you are making a huge mistake. This will destroy our family. You're choosing money over your granddaughter. I'm choosing accountability over enabling, I corrected. There's a difference. They left. Brittany sobbing. Mark furious. Susan defensive. Only Jake paused at the door. Grandma, he said, can I stay here tonight? I don't want to go home with them. Of course, sweetheart, I said. Of course you can stay. After they left, Jake helped me clean up. Neither of us spoke for a while. Finally, you did the right thing, Grandma. She needed to face consequences. Mom and Dad never make her face consequences. They just make excuses. I know, I said, but it's hard. She's my granddaughter. I love her, but I can't protect her from herself anymore. She'll hate you for this, Jake said. Mom and Dad will too. They're already talking about not speaking to you. I know, I said again, but that's their choice. I did what I had to do. We finished cleaning in silence, and I tried not to think about what came next. The arrest, the charges, the family fracturing, the consequences of choosing truth over comfortable lies. But I'd made my choice, and I'd stand by it. Legal consequences. Thursday morning, police arrested Brittany at her apartment. Sarah called me. "Eleanor, we executed the arrest warrant. She's been taken into custody, charged with bank fraud, forgery, and attempted theft. She'll be arraigned this afternoon." How did she react? Cried. Asked if you could drop the charges. Asked if this was really necessary. Tried to argue the jewelry was fake, so she didn't actually steal anything. Her lawyer will have a fun time with that defense. I felt sick. Hearing that my granddaughter had been arrested in handcuffs, taken to police station, was harder than I'd expected. "Eleanor?" Sarah's voice. "Are you okay?" "No," I said honestly. "But I'm doing what's necessary, what's right. For what it's worth, I think you are too. People like Brittany entitled, enabled all their lives, they escalate. Today it's forged checks. In 5 years it could be embezzlement from an employer. You're stopping the pattern now. That's hard but important." "Thank you," I said. Within hours, the arrest went viral. Someone had filmed it. Brittany being led out of her apartment building in handcuffs, posted it on TikTok with caption, "Influencer, arrested for fraud." The video got 2 million views in 6 hours. Comments flooded in. "OMG, is this the vintage jewelry girl? Wait, she was arrested? What happened?" Apparently, she forged checks from her grandma, lol. She stole from her grandma? That's so low. Her whole account was a lie. The jewelry was fake. Brittany's TikTok account, which had 85,000 followers, was flooded with hate comments. People calling her thief, fraud, fake, going through her old videos and mocking them. "This you borrowing grandma's jewelry to steal it?" Her Instagram, her Twitter, everything all flooded, all exposed. The influencer career she dropped out of college for, dead, completely dead, destroyed by her own actions caught on camera. Mark called me Friday. "Are you happy now? Brittany's all over the internet. Everyone knows. Everyone is mocking her. Her life is ruined, and it's your fault." "My fault?" I asked. "I didn't commit fraud. I didn't forge signatures. I didn't steal. Brittany did that. I just refused to cover it up." "You pressed charges. You could have handled this privately. Could have let us pay you back. Could have enabled her further," I interrupted. "Could have taught her that stealing is okay if you're family. Could have let her continue escalating. What's next, Mark? When my money wasn't enough? When she couldn't steal from me anymore? Would she steal from friends? From employers? Would you keep making excuses then too?" "She's 19. She made a mistake." "She made crimes," I said. "Repeated calculated crimes over 2 years. It's not a mistake. That's a pattern." "Well, I hope you're satisfied," Mark said bitterly, "because you've lost your granddaughter. You've lost me. Susan and I are not speaking to you anymore. We can't support someone who'd destroy their own family over money. It's not about money." He hung up. Susan called next, screaming, "My daughter has been arrested. Do you understand what this does to her future? To her record? She could go to prison because you couldn't just let it go." "She could go to prison because she committed felonies," Bus said. "That's how crime works, Susan. You're vindictive. You're cruel. You're a terrible grandmother, and we want nothing to do with you." She hung up too. I sat alone in my house, blocked by my son and daughter-in-law, about to lose my granddaughter to the legal system. Only Jake remained. He was staying with me, had told his parents he wouldn't go home while they were defending a thief. That night, lying in bed, I questioned everything. Had I done the right thing? Or had I destroyed my family over money, over pride, over needing to be right? Then I thought about Brittany's face when she'd asked to borrow jewelry, the performance, the manipulation, the calculation, the 2 years of stealing, the forged checks, the theft from her own little brother. I'd done the right thing, even if it cost me my family. Arraignment. Brittany appeared before a judge Monday. Her lawyer, paid for by Mark and Susan mortgaging their house, argued for dismissal. Your Honor, the jewelry in question was fake. Costume jewelry worth maybe $200. My client attempted to sell it, yes, but she didn't actually steal anything of value. At most, this is attempted theft of essentially worthless property. The prosecutor, sharp woman named Amanda Rodriguez, countered. The defendant believed the jewelry to be worth over $200,000. She intended to steal $200,000. The fact that her victim was smart enough to give her fakes doesn't negate the intent to commit grand theft. Additionally, Your Honor, the defendant did successfully steal $15,000 through forged checks. That's not attempted. That's completed bank fraud. The judge reviewed the evidence. I'm setting bail at $25,000. Trial date in 3 months. Miss Hammond, you're facing serious charges. I suggest you consider a plea deal. Mark and Susan posted bail, mortgaged their house, drained savings to free their daughter who'd stolen from her grandmother. Brittany came home to house arrest, ankle monitor, couldn't leave, couldn't work, couldn't do anything except wait for trial and watch her social media presence die. Meanwhile, more victims came forward. 3 of Brittany's friends contacted police. She borrowed jewelry from me and never returned it. She stole my designer purse. Money went missing when she visited, each one adding to the case, each one showing a pattern. Brittany wasn't an impulsive teenager who made one mistake. She was a calculated thief who'd been stealing for years from everyone around her. The prosecutor called me. Mrs. Walker, we have a strong case. Multiple victims, clear evidence. Brittany's lawyer is asking about plea deals. Are you willing to discuss that? What kind of plea? Guilty plea to fraud charges. Restitution. She pays back everything stolen, plus damages. Probation. Community service. No jail time if she completes probation successfully. Stays away from you restraining order. And if we don't take the plea, trial. If convicted, she's looking at 3 to 5 years in prison, plus restitution, plus permanent criminal record that makes future employment very difficult. I thought about it. My granddaughter in prison, 19 years old, 5 years of her life gone. But then I thought, she stole from her own family, from her grandmother, from her little brother. She forged signatures, committed fraud, systematically, deliberately, repeatedly. What does the plea require from her? I asked. Guilty plea, public apology, full restitution, 500 hours community service, 5 years probation, restraining order. Any violation of probation terms results in full prison sentence. And the apology, does it have to be public? Like on social media where she built her brand? If that's what you want, yes, we can require it as part of plea terms. Then that's what I want, I said. Public apology on the same platforms where she showed off my jewelry. Full acknowledgement of what she did, not excuses, not I made a mistake. Full truth. I stole from my grandmother. I forged checks. I committed fraud. And she posts it herself. No lawyer-written statement. Her words. I'll communicate that to her lawyer. 2 weeks later, Brittany's lawyer called mine. She won't accept those terms. The public apology on social media would destroy what's left of her online presence. She's refusing. Then we go to trial, I said, and she faces prison. Mrs. Walker, she's 19 years old, and old enough to know stealing is wrong, old enough to face adult consequences for adult crimes. Either she accepts the plea or we go to trial. Her choice. Another week passed. Brittany held out, hoping I'd cave. hoping I'd soften, hoping grandmotherly love would overcome need for accountability. I didn't cave. Finally, 3 days before trial was set to begin, she'll take the plea, all terms, including public apology. The apology. Brittany posted on TikTok, video of her, no makeup, crying, reading from paper and shaking hands. I need to say something. A month ago, I asked my grandmother to borrow her jewelry collection for videos. I told her it was for content. That was a lie. I planned to steal the jewelry and sell it, what I thought was worth over $200,000. My grandmother knew I was planning this. She gave me fake jewelry, costume pieces. When I tried to sell them, I discovered they were worthless fakes. But that didn't stop me. I'd also stolen my grandmother's checkbook, forged her signature on 5 checks, totaling $15,000. That's bank fraud. That's a felony. I also stole from my younger brother, $500 from his birthday money. I stole from friends, borrowed items and never returned them. I've been stealing from my family and friends for 2 years. I thought I deserved the money because I was building an influencer career, because I needed it for my lifestyle, because my family had money and I didn't. That was wrong. Stealing is wrong, regardless of who you steal from or why you think you need it. I betrayed my grandmother's trust, betrayed my family, committed crimes. As part of my plea deal, I'm pleading guilty to bank fraud and attempted grand theft. I'm paying full restitution, doing 500 hours of community service, 5 years probation, and I'm apologizing. Not because I have to, though I do, but because I need to say it. I'm sorry. To my grandmother, to my brother, to my friends, to everyone I stole from. I was wrong, completely, utterly wrong. And I'm facing consequences, real consequences. This video is part of those consequences. Admitting publicly what I did, letting everyone know I'm a thief. I stole from my own family, and I'm sorry. The video got 5 million views in 24 hours. Comments were mixed. At least she's owning it. Too little, too late. She's only sorry she got caught. Respect for admitting it publicly. Her grandma is savage for making her do this. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Brittany's follower count dropped from 85,000 to 12,000 overnight. Her influencer career was officially dead, but she'd kept her freedom, avoided prison, had a chance, a slim chance to rebuild her life. If she learned from this, if she actually changed, that remained to be seen. Resolution and aftermath. 3. Brittany started her community service, 500 hours at a homeless shelter, serving meals, cleaning, helping people who had even less than she did now. She got a job, retail, 13-hour, working 40 hours a week, living in a tiny studio apartment. No more luxury apartment funded by stolen money. Paying restitution, $15,000 to me for the forged checks, $500 to Jake, $2,000 to her friends whose items she'd stolen, $300 month installments. It would take years. Mark and Susan divorced. The stress of Brittany's arrest, the legal fees, the mortgage to post bail, the shame, it broke them. They disagreed fundamentally on whether Brittany should have faced consequences. Mark eventually admitted, maybe Mom was right. Maybe we enabled her too much. Susan never admitted anything, moved to another state, rarely spoke to Brittany. Jake stayed with me, started calling me Grandma Mom. We had family dinners, just the two of us. Normal dinners, no drama, no theft, no lies, just genuine family. Month 6, I received a letter from Brittany, handwritten. Grandma, I don't know if you'll read this. I understand if you don't, but I needed to write it. I've been working at the homeless shelter for 3 months now, community service. At first I hated it. thought it was punishment, humiliation, making me serve meals to homeless people, making me clean toilets. It felt degrading, but something happened. I started actually seeing the people there, hearing their stories, understanding that most of them weren't lazy or bad people. They'd had bad luck, made bad choices, lost jobs, lost families, ended up with nothing. And I realized that almost happened to me. If you hadn't stopped me, if I'd kept stealing, kept escalating, I could have ended up with nothing too. Prison, no family, no future, nothing. You saved me by holding me accountable. I hated you for it. Told everyone you were cruel, vindictive, heartless. But you weren't. You were the only person who loved me enough to let me face consequences. Mom and Dad always made excuses, always protected me, always enabled me. They thought that was love, but it wasn't. It was just letting me destroy myself slowly. You stopped that by pressing charges, by making me face what I'd done, by refusing to pretend it was okay. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I stole from you repeatedly, betrayed your trust, hurt you. I just wanted you to know. I understand now. I understand what I did, why it was wrong, and I'm trying to be better. I'm working, paying restitution, doing my service hours, staying away from social media, staying away from the lifestyle that made me think stealing was okay. I'm trying to become someone you could be proud of, even if you never speak to me again, even if I never get you back. Thank you for not giving up on teaching me accountability, even when it destroyed our relationship. I love you. I'm sorry. Brittany, I read it 3 times, cried through all 3 readings. Was it genuine or manipulation? Was she truly changed or just saying what she thought I wanted to hear? I didn't know, couldn't know. Only time would tell. I didn't respond to the letter, wasn't ready. Maybe never would be ready, but I kept it, filed it away. Evidence that maybe consequences had worked. Maybe accountability had taught lessons enabling never could. Month 12, Brittany completed 250 hours of community service. Halfway done, hadn't violated probation, hadn't stolen anything, hadn't failed a drug test or missed a meeting, was clean, working, paying restitution on schedule. Her probation officer called me. Mrs. Walker, I wanted to update you. Brittany is doing very well. She's one of my success stories. Genuinely seems changed. Works hard, shows up on time, takes responsibility. Wanted you to know. Thank you, I said. Jake mentioned her occasionally. Brittany texted me, asked how I'm doing, apologized again for stealing from me. Said she understands if I never forgive her. Do you forgive her? I asked. I don't know, Jake said. She's my sister. I love her. But she stole from me, from you, from everyone. It's hard to forget, but I think she's trying, really trying, not just performing. Month 18, Brittany's lawyer contacted mine. Miss Hammond would like to request a meeting with Mrs. Walker, supervised, no demands, just wants to talk. Will Mrs. Walker consider it? I thought about it, discussed with Jake, discussed with Sarah. What do you think? I asked Jake. Should I see her? I think you should decide based on what you need, Grandma, not what Brittany needs, not what anyone else thinks. What do you need? What did I need? I needed to see if the change was real, needed to look her in the eye, needed to know if my granddaughter still existed under the thief she'd become. I'll meet her, I said, supervised, in a public place, with you and my lawyer present, one meeting, then I'll decide if there can be more. We met at a coffee shop. Brittany arrived early. She looked different, thinner, tired, but clearer somehow, more present, more real. I sat across from her, Jake beside me, my lawyer nearby but giving us space. "Thank you for coming," Brittany said, voice quiet, humble. "I know I don't deserve this, don't deserve your time, your presence, anything." "No," I agreed. "You don't," she nodded. "I wanted to tell you in person. I'm sorry. Really, genuinely sorry. Not because I got caught, not because I faced consequences, but because I hurt you, betrayed you, took advantage of your love and trust." "You did," I said, "for 2 years, systematically, deliberately. How do I know you've actually changed? How do I know this isn't just another performance?" "You don't," Brittany said honestly. "I can't prove it with words, only with actions, with time, with years of not stealing, of working, of paying back what I owe, of being someone different." "What changed?" I asked. "Why now? Why not 2 years ago or 1 year ago? What made you actually change instead of just saying you would?" "Consequences," Brittany said simply. "Real consequences. For the first time in my life, I faced actual consequences for my actions, got arrested, faced trial, lost my TikTok career, lost friends, lost family, lost everything. And I had to rebuild from nothing, had to work retail, had to serve community service, had to pay restitution, had to actually do things instead of just taking. And that changed me, slowly, painfully, but genuinely." "The homeless shelter," I said. "Your letter mentioned it. What did you learn there?" "That I was one bad decision away from being them," Brittany said. "That privilege and family money had protected me from consequences for so long that I thought I was immune. But I wasn't. I'm not. And if you hadn't stopped me, I would have kept escalating, would have stolen more, would have eventually faced worse consequences, prison, destruction. You saved me by holding me accountable when no one else would." I was quiet for a long time, looking at this young woman, my granddaughter, this person I'd loved since birth who'd become someone I didn't recognize, and who maybe was becoming someone better now. "I don't forgive you," I said finally. "Not yet. Maybe not ever. What you did broke something fundamental, broke trust, broke our relationship. You can't fix that with apologies and community service." "I know," Brittany said. "I'm not asking forgiveness, just acknowledging what I did, letting you know I understand, I'm sorry, and I'm trying to be better, that's all." "Keep trying," I said. "Keep working, keep paying restitution, keep doing your service hours, complete your probation. Then maybe we talk again, maybe we start rebuilding. But that's years away, Brittany, years of proving you've actually changed." "I understand," she said. "Thank you for seeing me, for letting me apologize in person. That's more than I deserved." I stood to leave, paused. "One question. The jewelry. When you discovered it was fake, when you realized I'd tricked you, what did you feel?" Brittany was quiet. Then, angry at first. Then, impressed. "You outsmarted me, saw through my plan, caught me before I could actually steal. And I realized you knew me better than I knew myself, knew I was capable of theft, knew I needed to be stopped, and you did it, brilliantly." "I did," I said, "because I love you. But love doesn't mean enabling. Love means holding people accountable, even when it's hard, even when they hate you for it." "I don't hate you," Brittany said. "I'm grateful, even though I lost everything, even though it destroyed my life as I knew it. I'm grateful you cared enough to stop me." I nodded, left, didn't look back. Month 24, present day. Jake graduated high school, top of his class, full scholarship to State University, planning to study law. Because Grandma, someone needs to hold people accountable, and I learned from the best. I attended his graduation, Wore my real jewelry, the pieces I'd retrieved from the police after Brittany's arrest. The sapphire necklace Robert had given me for our anniversary. The diamond ring that had been in my family for 3 generations. The real pieces, the valuable pieces, the heirlooms that meant more than money. Brittany was there. She'd completed 500 hours of community service 2 months ago, was still on probation, still working retail, still paying restitution, still sober, clean, crime-free. She saw me wearing the jewelry. Her eyes widened slightly, then looked away, said nothing. After the ceremony, she approached, cautiously. "Grandma, can I say hi to Jake, congratulate him?" "Ask Jake," I said. "Not my decision." She did. Jake hugged her. "Proud of you, Britt, for making it through probation, for changing, for being here." "Proud of you too," she said. "Full scholarship, law school. You're amazing." They talked for a few minutes, awkward but genuine, siblings trying to rebuild. Then Brittany turned to me. "The jewelry, that's the real stuff, isn't it? What you actually had? What I tried to steal?" "Yes," I said. "This is real. What I gave you was fake. I knew what you were planning." "It's beautiful," she said quietly. I never really looked at it before. Never saw the craftsmanship, the history. Just saw dollar signs. Just saw value I could convert to cash. I didn't see what it actually was, what it meant. "That's the difference between theft and appreciation," I said. "Between taking and valuing. You saw money. I saw family history, memories, love from your grandfather, meaning." "I understand that now," Brittany said. "Too late, but I understand." We stood in awkward silence. "Are we," Brittany started, stopped. "Are we ever going to be okay, you and me? Or is this it? Permanent distance?" "I don't know," I said honestly. "Ask me in 5 years, when you've completed probation, when you've paid full restitution, when you've proven consistent change, then maybe we can talk about rebuilding. But that's years away, Brittany. Years of actions, not words." "I'll wait," she said, "however long it takes. I destroyed what we had. If I can ever rebuild even a fraction of it, I'll wait." I nodded, started to leave. "Grandma," Brittany called. I turned. "Thank you for the trap, for the fake jewelry, for pressing charges, for holding me accountable. I hated you for it, but it saved my life, so thank you." I didn't respond, just walked away. Later, at home with Jake, we had quiet celebration dinner, pizza, soda, simple. "Do you think she's really changed?" Jake asked. "Brittany, do you think it's real?" "I think she's trying," I said. "Whether that trying lasts, whether it's deep change or just surface adjustment, time will tell. I'm hopeful, but cautious. Trust is rebuilt slowly, over years, maybe decades." "Are you glad you pressed charges?" Jake asked, "even though it destroyed your relationship with her? With Dad? Even though the family fell apart?" "Yes," I said without hesitation, because the alternative was watching her destroy herself slowly, watching her escalate, watching her eventually end up in prison anyway, but worse. At least now she has a chance, a real chance to change, to become someone better. That chance only existed because I held her accountable. "You're brave, Grandma," Jake said. "Braver than most people. Most people would have made excuses, would have protected her, would have enabled her." "Brave isn't the right word," I said. "Necessary is. It was necessary. Hard, painful, family-destroying necessary, but necessary." We finished dinner, cleaned up together, normal evening, normal family. Later, alone in my room, I opened my jewelry box, the real one, the one with actual heirlooms, touched each piece, remembered Robert giving them to me, remembered wearing them at important occasions, remembered the meaning behind each piece, These weren't just valuable objects. They were love, memory, family, history. Brittany had seen them as money to steal. But maybe she was learning to see them differently now. Learning that value isn't just monetary, that some things mean more than their price tags. Maybe. Only time would tell if the change was real, if consequences had truly taught lessons, if my granddaughter could become someone I could trust again. But for tonight, I'd done what was necessary, had held her accountable, had refused to enable, had taught hard lessons that might have saved her from worse consequences down the line. And that was enough. Whether we ever rebuilt our relationship, that was years away, uncertain, dependent on Brittany's continued choices. But I'd given her a chance, by holding her accountable instead of protecting her, by letting her face consequences instead of making excuses. The rest was up to her.